Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, yes.
Anil, you have Anil, is there any issue with the screen share? Do you want anyone to help?
Yeah, he's sharing.
Okay, okay. हेलो आरती जी, काफी दिनों बाद.
Hi, Mansi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm super awesome. I was occupied in few things lately, so couldn't join any of the sessions. Was
No,
just
no.
scrolling the group and found that you are reading this book, so I joined.
Yeah, this book is close to many people's heart. Have you read it?
Not yet completely, but I have read means I always read the books like this. I just pick it up and read any random page. I don't read sequential.
अच्छा, नहीं ये book कैसा है? ये fiction है ना? So
Hmm.
it's a story. So when you read it, it's like a novel kind of a thing. You
Yes.
have. So लेकिन फिर भी इसमें भी शायद आपको कुछ मिल ही गया रहेगा.
हाँ.
There are lines ऐसे भी. Okay, okay. We are just getting started. Like we are just on day 3 or somewhere near like page 30, 40 na Anil? Yeah,
Yes,
40s. So
Page number
if you wish to
46,
catch up,
Sophie.
yeah, you can easily do even now, like आगे के pages. Yeah, yeah, Anil, please, Anil and
Yeah,
Pallavi, please take over. Yeah.
yeah. So good morning, everyone. So we have completed 2 days for reading this book, The Alchemist. So now we will continue day three. So yesterday that we read about this the shepherd boy Santiago that meets the king of Salem. He learned about the personal legend and he received the two stones filled with the hope. He sell his ship and travels to Africa, and he some things he got the so two things that he was cheated, that the one young man cheated him who steal his all his money, and he also lost his stones, and so that way he got the challenge in his journey to achieve the dreams. So he was thinking just how just he pursue his dreams. So basically in his journey to the dreams, he was facing challenges and how, the crisis, and then he was thinking how he should pursue his adventures looking for the treasure. So but he continued his journey, and now just he's going ahead to achieve his dream. So now today we will continue the further reading. So how just he will continue. So should I start reading, or Sumangi, you are going to start?
Yeah, as you wish. What you say, I'm okay with both.
You can start, then I will take from you.
Yeah, sure. He was shaken into wakefulness by someone. He had fallen asleep in the middle of the marketplace, and life in the plaza was about to resume. Looking around, he sought his sheep and then realized that he was in a new world. But instead of being saddened, he was happy. He no longer had to seek out food and water for the sheep. He could go in search of his treasure instead. He had not a cent in his pocket, but he had faith. He had decided the night before that he would be as much an adventurer as the ones he had admired in the books. He walked slowly through the market. The merchants were assembling their stalls, and the boy helped a candy seller to do his. The candy seller had a smile on his face. He was happy, aware of what his life was about, and ready to begin a day's work. His smile reminded the boy of the old man, the mysterious old king he had met. This candy merchant is not making candy so that later on he can travel or marry a shopkeeper's daughter. He is doing it because it is what he wants to do, thought the boy. He realized that he could do the same thing the old man had done, sense whether a person was near to or far from his personal legend. Just by looking at them, it is easy, and yet I have never done it before, he thought. When the stall was assembled, the candy seller offered the boy the first sweet he had made for the day. The boy thanked him, ate it, and went on his way. When he had gone only a short distance, he realized that while they were erecting the stall, one of them had spoken Arabic and the other Spanish, and they had understood each other perfectly well. There must be a language that doesn't depend on words, the boy thought. I have already had that experience with my sheep, and now it is happening with people. He was learning a lot of new things. Some of them were things that he had already experienced and were not really new, but that he had never perceived before, and he had not perceived them because he had become accustomed to them. He realized, if I can learn to understand this language without words, I can learn to understand the world. Relaxed and unhurried, he resolved that he would walk through the narrow streets of Tangier. Only in that way would he be able to read the omens. He knew it would require a lot of patience, but shepherds know all about patience. Once again, he saw that in that strange land he was applying the same lessons he had learned with his sheep. All things are one, the old man had said. The crystal merchant awoke with the day and felt the same anxiety that he felt every morning. He had been in the same place for 30 years, a shop at the top of a hilly street where few customers passed. Now it was too late to change anything. The only thing he had ever learned to do was to buy and sell crystal glassware. There had been a time when many people knew of his shop. Arab merchants, French and English geologists, German soldiers who were always well heeled. In those days, it had been wonderful to be selling crystal, and he had thought how he would become rich and have beautiful women at his side as he grew older. But as time passed, Tangier had changed. The nearby city of Ceuta had grown faster than Tangier, and business had fallen off. Neighbors moved away, and there remained only a few small shops on the hill, and no one was going to climb the hill just to browse through a few small shops. But the crystal merchant had no choice. He had lived 30 years of his life buying and selling crystal pieces, and now it was too late to do anything else. He spent the entire morning observing the infrequent comings and goings in the street. He had done this for years and knew the schedule of everyone who passed, but just before lunchtime, a boy stopped in front of the shop. He was dressed normally, but the practiced eyes of the crystal merchant could see that the boy had no money to spend. Nevertheless, the merchant decided to delay his lunch for a few minutes until the boy moved on. A card hanging in the doorway announced that several languages were spoken in the show. The boy saw a man appear behind the counter. I can clean up those glasses in the window if you want, said the boy. The way they look now, nobody is going to want to buy them. The man looked at him without responding. In exchange, you could give me something to eat. The man still said nothing, and the boy sensed that he was going to have to make a decision. In his pouch, he had his jacket. He certainly was not going to need it in the desert. Taking the jacket out, he began to clean the glasses. In half an hour, he had cleaned all the glasses in the window, and as he was doing so, two customers had entered the shop and bought some crystal. When he had completed the cleaning, he asked the man for something to eat. Let's go and have some lunch, said the crystal merchant. He put a sign on the door and they went to a small cafe nearby. As they sat down at the only table in the place, the crystal merchant laughed. You didn't have to do any cleaning, he said. The Koran requires me to feed a hungry person. Well, then, why did you let me do it? The boy asked. Because the crystal was dirty, and both you and I needed to cleanse our mind of the negative thoughts. When they had eaten, the merchant turned to the boy and said, I would like you to work in my shop. Two customers came in today while you were working, and that's a good omen. People talk a lot about omens, thought the shepherd, but they really don't know what they are saying. Just as I had not realized that for so many years I had been speaking a language without words to my sheep. Do you want to go to work for me? The merchant asked. I can work for the rest of today, the boy answered. I will work all night until dawn, and I'll clean every piece of crystal in your shop. In return, I need money to get to Egypt tomorrow. The merchant laughed. Even if you cleaned my crystal, for an entire year, even if you earned a good commission selling every piece, you would still have to borrow money to get to Egypt. There are thousands of kilometers of desert between here and there. There was a moment of silence so profound that it seemed the city was asleep. No sound from the bazaars, no argument among the merchants, no men climbing to the towers to chant, no hope, no adventure, no old kings or personal legends, no treasure, and no pyramids. It was as if the world had fallen silent because the boy's soul had. He sat there, staring blankly through the door of the cafe, wishing that he had died and that everything would end forever at that moment. The merchant looked anxiously at the boy. All the joy he had seen the morning had suddenly disappeared. I can give you the money you need to get back to your country, my son, said the crystal merchant. The boy said nothing. He got up, adjusted his clothing, and picked up his pouch. I'll work for you, he said. And after another long silence, he added, I need money to buy some sheep.
Here, a new country, new language, because it's important and loses always will instead of giving up, he decides to trust the journey and risk life.
Yes, somebody saying something?
No,
I
sorry.
think it's Pranavi by mistake. Yeah. Go on, go on.
Part 2. The boy had been working for the crystal merchant for almost a month, and he could see that it was not exactly the kind of job that would make him happy. The merchant spent the entire day mumbling behind the counter, telling the boy to be careful with the pieces and not to break anything. But he stayed with the job because the merchant, although he was an old grouch, treated him fairly. The boy received a good commission for each piece he sold and had already been able to put some money aside. That morning, he had done some calculating. If he continued to work every day as he had been, he would need a whole year to be able to buy some sheep. I would like to build a display case for the crystal, the boy said to the merchant. We could place it outside and attract those people who pass at the bottom of the hill. I have never had one before, the merchant answered. People will pass by and bump into it, and pieces will be broken. Well, when I took my sheep through the fields, some of them might have died if we had come upon a snake. But that is the way life is with sheep and with shepherds. The merchant turned to a customer who wanted three crystal glasses. He was selling better than ever, as if time had turned back to the old days when the street had been one of the Tangier's major attractions. Business has really improved, he said to the boy after the customer had left. I am doing much better. and soon you will be able to return to your sheep. Why ask more out of life? Because we have to respond to omens, the boy said, almost without meaning to. Then he regretted what he had said because the merchant had never met the king. It is called the principle of favorability, beginner's luck, because life wants you to achieve your personal legend, the old king had said. But the merchant understood what the boy had said. The boy's very presence in the shop was an omen, and as time passed and money was pouring into the cash drawer, he had no regrets about having hired the boy. The boy was being paid more money than he deserved because the merchant, thinking that sales would not amount too much, had offered the boy a high commission rate. He had assumed he would soon return to his sheep. Why did you want to get to the pyramids? He asked, to get away from the business of the display. Because I have always heard about them, the boy answered, saying nothing about his dream. The treasure was now nothing but a painful memory, and he tried to avoid thinking about it. I don't know anyone around here who would want to cross the desert just to see the pyramids, said, said the merchant. They are just a pile of stones. You could build one in your backyard. You have never had dream of travel, said the boy, turning to wait on a customer who had entered the shop. 2 days later, the merchant spoke to the boy about the display. I don't much like change, he said. You and I are not like Hassan, that rich merchant. If he makes a buying mistake, it doesn't affect him much, but we too have to live with our mistakes. That's true enough, the boy thought ruefully. Why did you think we should have the display?
I think now somebody else can take ahead, please.
Yeah, can
Thank
I
you
go
for
ahead?
the wonderful reading.
Yeah, thank you.
Sandeep has written his name already. Yeah. Anyone else who want to read can write the names.
Now we have written, anyone can take ahead.
I think I
Adil ji?
um,
Ran-
oh,
Ranvi has written her name.
Acha, okay, sorry, I read.
Ranvi, you want to go or should I read?
good morning to all. Yeah, I would just read and just pass it on to you, Anilji.
Okay, okay.
I want to go back to my sheep faster. We have to take advantage when luck is on our side and do as much to help it as it's doing to help us. It's called the principle of favorability or beginner's luck. The merchant was silent for a few moments. Then he said, the Prophet gave us the Quran and left us just 5 obligations to satisfy during our lives. The most important is to believe only in one true God. The others are to pray 5 times a day, fast during Ramadan, and be charitable to the poor. He stopped there, his eyes filled with tears as he spoke of the Prophet. He was a devout man, and even with all his impatience, he wanted to live his life in accordance with Muslim law. What's the fifth obligation? The boy asked. 2 days ago, you said that I had never dreamed of travel, the merchant answered. The fifth obligation of every Muslim is a pilgrimage. We are obliged at least once in our lives to visit the holy city of Mecca. Mecca is a lot farther away than the pyramids. When I was young, all I wanted to do was put together enough money to start this shop. I thought that someday I would be rich and could go to Mecca. I began to make some money, but I could never bring myself to leave someone in charge of the shop. The crystals are delicate things. At the same time, people were passing my shop all the time, heading for Mecca. Some of them were rich pilgrims traveling in caravans with servants and camels, but most of the people making the pilgrimage were poorer than I. All who went there were happy at having done so. They placed the symbols of the pilgrimage on the doors of their houses. One of them, a cobbler who made his living mending boots, said that he had traveled for almost a year through the desert, but that he got more tired when he had to walk through the streets of Tangier buying his leather. Well, why don't you go to Mecca now? Asked the boy. Because it's the thought of Mecca that keeps me alive. That's what helps me face these days that are all the same. These mute crystals on the shelves, and lunch and dinner at the same horrible cave. I'm afraid that if my dream is realized, I will have no reason to go on living. You dream about your sheep and the pyramids, but you're different from me because you want to realize your dreams. I just want to dream about Mecca. I have already imagined 1,000 times crossing the desert, arriving at the plaza of the sacred stone, the 7 times I walk around it before allowing myself to touch it. I have already imagined the people who would be at my side and those in front of me, and the conversations and prayers we would share. But I am afraid that it would be a disappointment, so I prefer just to dream about it. That day, the merchant gave the boy permission to build the display. Not everyone can see his dreams come true in the same way. 2 more months passed, and the shelf brought many customers into the crystal shop. The boy estimated that if he worked for 6 more months, he could return to Spain and buy 60 sheep and yet another 60. In less than a year, he would have doubled his flock and he would be able to do business with the Arabs because he was now able to speak their strange language. Since that morning in the marketplace, he had never again made use of Urim and Thummim because Egypt was now just as distant a dream for him as was Mecca for the merchant. Anyway, the boy had become happy in his work and thought all the time about the day when he would disembark at Tarifa as a winner. You must always know what is that you want, the old king had said. The boy knew and was now working towards it. Maybe it was his treasure to have wound up in that strange land, met up with a thief, and doubled the size of his flock without spending a cent. He was proud of himself. He had learned some important things like how to deal in crystal and about the language without words and about omens. One afternoon, he had seen a man at the top of the hill complaining that it was impossible to find a decent place to get something to drink after such a climb. The boy, accustomed to recognizing omens, spoke to the merchant. Let's sell tea to the people who climb the hill. Lots of places sell tea around here, the merchant said. But we could sell tea in crystal glasses. The people will enjoy the tea and want to buy the glasses. I have been told that beauty is the great seducer of men. The merchant didn't respond, but that afternoon, after saying his prayers and closing the shop, he invited the boy to sit with him and share his hookah, that strange pipe used by Arabs. What is it you're looking for? Asked the old merchant. I've already told you. I need to buy my sheep back, so I have to earn the money to do so. The merchant put some new coals in the hookah and inhaled deeply. I have had this shop for 30 years. I know good crystal from bad and everything else there is to know about crystal. I know its dimensions and how it behaves. If we serve tea in the crystal, the shop is going to expand and then I will have to change my way of life. Well, isn't that good? I am already used to the way the things are. Before you came, I was thinking about how much time I had wasted in the same place while my friends had moved on and either went bankrupt or did better than they had before. It made me very depressed. Now I can see that it hasn't been too bad. The shop is exactly the size I always wanted it to be. I don't want to change anything because I don't know how to deal with the change. I'm used to the way I am. The boy didn't know what to say. The old man continued, you have been a real blessing to me. Today, I understand something I didn't see before. Every blessing ignored becomes a curse. I don't want anything else in life, but you are forcing me to look at wealth and at horizons I have never known. now that I have seen them, and now that I see how immense my possibilities are, I'm going to feel worse than I did before you arrived because I know the things I should be able to accomplish and I don't want to do so. It's good I refrained from saying anything to the baker in Tarifa, though the boy to himself thought the boy to himself. They went on smoking the pipe for a while as the sun began to set. They were conversing in Arabic, and the boy was proud of himself for being able to do so. There had been a time when he thought that his sheep could teach him everything he needed to know about the world, but they could never have taught him Arabic. There are probably other things in the world that the sheep can't teach me, thought the boy as he regarded the old merchant. All they overdo, really, is look food for food and water. And maybe it was not that they were teaching me, but that I was learning from them. Maktab, the merchant said finally. What does it mean? You would have to have been born in Arab to understand, he answered. But in your language, it would be something like it is written. And as he smothered the coals in the hookah, he told the boy that he could begin to sell tea in the crystal glasses. Sometimes there is just no way to hold back the river. Yeah. Anilji, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
The men climbed the hill and they were tired. When they reached the top, but there they saw a crystal shop that offered refreshing mint tea. They went in to drink the tea, which was served in the beautiful crystal glasses. My wife never thought of this, said one. He bought some crystal. He was entertaining guests that night, and the guests would be impressed by the beauty of the glassware. The other man remarked that tea was always more delicious when it was served in crystal because the aroma was retained. The third said that it was a tradition in the Orient to use crystal glasses for tea because it had magical powers. Before long, the news spread, and a great many people began to climb the hill to see the shop that was doing something new in a trade that was so old. Other shops were opened that served tea in the crystal, but they were not at the top of a hill and they had little business. Eventually, the merchant had to hire two more employees. He began to import enormous quantities of tea along with his crystal, and his shop was sought out by men and women with a thirst for things new. And in that way, the months passed. The boy awoke before dawn. It had been 11 months and 9 days since he had first set foot on the African continent. He dressed in his Arabian clothing of white linen, brought especially for this day. He put his head cloth in place and secured it with a ring made of camel skin. Wearing his new sandals, he descended the stairs silently. The city was still sleeping. He prepared himself a sandwich and he drank some hot tea from a crystal glass. Then he sat in the sun filled doorway, smoking the hookah. He smoked in silence, thinking of nothing and listening to the sound of wind that brought the scent of the desert. When he had finished his smoke, he reached into one of his pockets and sat there for a few moments regarding what he had withdrawn. It was a bundle of money, enough to buy himself 120 ships, a return ticket, and a license to import products from Africa into his own country. He waited patiently for the merchant to waken and open the shop. Then the two went off to have some more tea. I am leaving today, said the boy. I have the money I need to buy my ship, and you have the money you need to go to Mecca. The old man said nothing. Will you give me your blessing? Asked the boy. You have helped me. The man continued to prepare his tea, saying nothing. Then he turned to the boy. I am proud of you, he said. You brought a new feeling into my crystal shop. But you know that I am not going to go to Mecca. Just as you know that you are not going to buy your ship. Who told you that? Asked the boy startled. Maktab, said the old crystal merchant, and he gave the boy his blessing. The boy went to his room and packed his belongings. They filled 3 sacks, and he was leaving. He saw in the corner of the room his old shepherd's pouch. It was bunched up, and he had hardly thought of it for a long time. As he took his jacket out of the pouch, thinking to give it to someone in the street, the 2 stones fell to the floor, Urim and Thummim. It made the boy think of the old king, and it startled him to realize how long it had been since he had thought of him. For nearly a year, he had been working incessantly, thinking only of putting aside enough money so that he could return to Spain with pride. Never stop dreaming, the old king had said. Follow the omens. The boy picked up the Urim and Thummim and once again had the strange sensation that old king was nearby. He had worked hard for a year, and the omens were that it was time to go. I am going to go back to doing just what I did before, the boy thought, even though the ship didn't teach me to speak Arabic. But the ship had taught him something even more important, that there was a language in the world that everyone understood, a language the boy had used throughout the time that he was trying to improve things at the shop. It was the language of enthusiasm, of things accomplished with love and purpose, and as a part of search for something believed in and desired. Tangier was no longer a strange city, and he felt that just as he had conquered this place, he could conquer the world. When you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it, the old king has said. But the old king had not said that anything about being robbed, or about endless deserts, or about people who know what their dreams are but don't want to realize them. The old king had not told him that the pyramids were just a pile of stones, or that anyone can build one in his backyard, and he had forgotten to mention that when you have enough money to buy a flock larger than the one you had before, you should buy it. The boy picked up his pouch and put it with his other things. He went down the stairs and found the merchant waiting on a foreign couple, while 2 other customers walked about the shop, drinking tea from the crystal glasses. It was more activity than usual for this time of the morning. From where he stood, he saw for the first time that the old merchant's hair was very much like the hair of the old king. He remembered the smile of the candy seller on his first day in the Tangier, when he had nothing to eat and nowhere to go. That smile had also been like the old king's smile. It's almost as if he had been here and left his mark, he thought. And yet none of these people has ever met the old king. On the other hand, he said that he always appeared to help those who are trying to realize their personal legend. He left without saying goodbye to the crystal merchant. He didn't want to cry with the other people there. He was going to miss the place and all the good things he had learned. He was more confident in himself, though, and felt as though he could conquer the world. But I am going back to the fields that I know to take care of my flock again. He said that to himself with certainty, but he was no longer happy with his decision. He had worked for an entire year to make a dream come true, and that dream, minute by minute, was becoming less important. Maybe because that was not really his dream. Who knows? Maybe it's better to be like the crystal merchant, never go to Mecca, and just go through life wanting to do so, he thought, again trying to convince himself. But as he held Urim and Thummim in his hand, they had transmitted to him the strength and will of the old king. By coincidence, or maybe it was an omen, the boy thought. He came to the bar he had entered on his first day there. The thief was not there, and the owner bought him a cup of tea. I can always go back to being a shepherd, the boy thought. I learned how to care for sheep, and I have not forgotten how that's done. But maybe I will never have another chance to get to the pyramids in Egypt. The old man wore a breastplate of gold and he knew about my past. He really was a king, a wise king. The hills of Andalusia were only 2 hours away, but there was an entire desert between him and the pyramids. Yet the boy felt that there was another way to regard his situation. He was actually 2 hours closer to his treasure. The fact that the 2 hours had stretched into an entire year didn't matter. I know why I want to get back to my flock, he thought. I understand sheep. They are no longer a problem. They can be good friends. On the other hand, I don't know if the desert can be a friend, and it is in the desert that I have to search for my treasure. If I don't find it, I can always go home. I finally have enough money and all the time I need. Why not? He suddenly felt tremendously happy. He could always go back to being a shepherd. He could always become a crystal salesman again. Maybe the world had other hidden treasures, but he had a dream and he had met with a king. That doesn't happen to just anyone. He was planning as he left the bar. He had remembered that one of the crystal merchant suppliers transported his crystal by means of caravans that crossed the desert. He held Urim and Thummim in his hand. Because of those two stones, he was once again on the way to his treasure. I am always nearby. When someone wants to realize their personal legend, the old king had told him what could it cost to go over to the supplier's warehouse and find out if the pyramids were really that far away. The Englishman,
I think it's 7:44.
we can stop here.
Thank you so much for that wonderful reading. Yes, anybody wants to go ahead with today's sharing?
Yes. Okay, I'll start. What I felt like. So for in today's reading, there were so many insights. So basically, the way the merchant thought, right? So it was like so many people, so many of us live like that, right? Like we have dreams, but even if they are even when we reach the place where we are actually able to take actions towards them, we don't want to because somewhere we just want to stay in that. And the words of the merchant are so wise. Like if we just think it deeply, so there were a lot of small, small insights in the whole reading, like basically when he started cleaning the crystal. So I remembered, like even it's said even in spiritualism and things, like where someone, when someone goes in a monastery or anywhere where they stay, or even in the house, as simple as that, when we start cleaning, they say that the energy changes. So there is a big energy shift when you start cleaning things up externally in your surrounding. So I feel that happened. And the way the boy wanted to do new things, and there were so many things, right? Where he said, where he was living the words of the old man, and where he said like there is a beginner's luck. So when it is on, you have to make the most of it. And then all the whole journey, it was very very beautiful and insightful for me. So I realized like maybe sometimes like we are always choosing between becoming the boy who would really want to go to the treasure, and even the last part where it shared like he was 2 hours closer to the treasure. Although the 2 hours were just like it's always easy to go back from where you're coming, and it's always easy to make that choice, because somewhere that is a impulse we have, right? Like because it's a comfort zone somewhere, but a dream is far away. So but we never remember, or we never see it that way, that wherever we have come so far, we have actually traveled a little more towards our dreams. So I love that. So actually many such insights on the chapter, maybe I would want to highlight and go back to it and highlight them, not remembering every of them, each one of them which I thought of, but while reading, but very beautiful. So a different this thing. And also one more thing, that he how he forgot all the omens and everything the whole year, because he was busy surviving. He was busy just making his living for himself. And sometimes what I have also realized is he worked all the year to buy a ship. So many a times it happens like we have some agenda in our mind, but actually the destiny is something else. As the old man also said, that maktab, right? Where although the boy earned because of the drive of wanting to buy a ship, but maybe he was meant to do that, to just travel the land and go to the pyramids and something like that. So it was very beautiful. So yeah, others please add. It will be very nice to hear from all of you your insights.
Pranavi ji, Suman ji.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really, it was. I am not able to recollect all the wisdom and learnings that the boy was relating with the old man's sayings. Now he is in this journey, he is getting smarter and smarter. Each and every step he is recalled of the old man saying that old man said so, old man said that, and how he is using his smart ways to uh, earn money to buy the sheep. Means he doesn't want to take risk also. He is clear that whatever the course is, whether I am able to get my legend or not, ultimately the sheeps are there, that I will be doing that if nothing else. And his how he is paving the way for the merchant success also. Very very beautiful lines were there, how he was relating to the old man's wisdom. Yes.
Thank you. That was so profound. Pranavi ji, Sunita ji.
Yeah, good morning to all. Mm, as Mansi and Suman has told, like lot of insights are there to pick up. For me, what attracted me was this boy took everything in a very positive way. If I would be in his place, maybe it may sound funny, but then like if he has lost the whole money and his money was being thefted and all that, he never gave up, and then he started surviving for himself. And one more thing which I learned was this guy, he doesn't know the culture over there, he doesn't know the language over there, but yet with his kind gestures and his body language and all, he made an intimate friendship with the old merchant. Actually, you need little of guts and courage to open yourself where the culture is not known to you, the language is not known to you. So he has made a great attempt to express his views or whatever, or he made intimacy with the old merchant with just his gestures and body language and few signs. So that's the place where he has opened himself unknowingly, and yet he made an intimate contact with this particular merchant, and small idea can give to a big thing. So he made that intimacy relationship with this merchant in such a way that he was able to guide his ideas on his brain. So that's again a great wonder. That's the way the boy has taken up his guts and courage and all that. And second thing is that mostly the people over there try to copy his ideas and all that, but that perfect place and that decision at the right time and all had given a great click to the old merchant as well. And he, I don't know, I mean, he being a boy, he just wants to go back to his village and buy the sheep and all. But then again at the end of the moment he didn't think so, because again he was very much grounded with his own journey, with his own goals. So this boy is a very firm boy. I mean, he's just telling to the people around that this is a way to hold back to your goals in this firm way. So and also another case is also being shown that how the merchant is being responding to his Mecca travel and all that. So most of the people do belong to that category, but then this is a way to teach yourself and to guide yourself to the goal, was the thing the boy has told to the people around, I mean to the readers around. So this is the thing I have learned. Yes, thank you all.
Yeah, beautifully shared that. Thank you so much. Now, who wants to go ahead? Anilji, Sujit, Aarti ji.
I just want to one learning that from today's reading. So what that boy was basically, during his journey he faces many challenges. He was thinking that he can go back. That was coming in his mind. But the when he was doing his journey, many things happen when you start a journey for a particular destination. So the journey sometimes give you the confidence, because when he was thinking to going back, he was also remembering what the king has told him, कि the whole universe conspire to achieve what you want. So those things also giving him the confidence, and he was thinking that. So when we start journey, so all the experience, good or bad, all that gives you to achieve your dream or destination. That's many things happening, that was saying that you can go back. But that he was remembering the things that happened with the king. The king told him just to pursue dream. So that was also the things that he was able to carry, and then he decided and he keep alive his dream, and he just again started pursuing his dream. So that matlab the journey itself sometimes just inspire you to achieve your dream or destination. That's the my takeaway for today.
Wow, so wonderful. Aarti ji, you want to share? Sujata ji, Sunita ji.
Thank you, Pallavi. But already, whatever insights I got are shared by various people. So my points are almost covered. I found it interesting that how the suggestion was given to serve the tea in the crystal, so that made people attract towards them. So new ideas can create new opportunities for you. This was one more insight I got. Rest all are already shared by everyone. It
Thank
was nice experience.
Thank you so much. Just to add to it, that also resonate with me, but I want to add to it कि sometimes when we don't act on the opportunity, then we have to regret, because every blessing ignored become a curse. And secondly, as we saw, कि merchant didn't want to change. He wanted to be on his comfort room. Although this Santiago was giving him profound examples, the way how can he multiply his business. But he was not very eager or comfortable to act on him, because he didn't want to come out of his comfort zone. So sometimes the comfort zone becomes a silent traps for us that stop us from growing. And secondly, uh, um, sometimes we don't act upon a dream because we fear we will fail in them. Fulfilling the dreams scares them. They have fear that they won't be left to anything will leave them. But this Santiago was always ready to take the challenge, and he always had the motivation back that he can anytime go back and become a shepherd, or he can always begin with the crystal business. So he was not afraid of taking the challenges and live for his dream. Whereas we saw some people think that only seeing the dream is enough. They don't want to make them realistic. That is something what I found ki yes, we have to take the first step towards a dream, and we have to be guided by the omens. Sometimes the omens gives us sign. How can we evolve? Just as Mansi gave the opportunity that you can lead the session, and I want to become a good speaker or good learner. So I took it as a woman, and look ahead however obstacle I'm having in moderating the section. So we have to learn how to get out of the comfort zone, how to take the challenges, and and how to step forward to fulfill a dream. Thank you. And anybody wants to share?
Pallavi, I
Yeah.
want to appreciate your voice. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
And one more thing, that as you said, na, that the person was thinking that I cannot do anything else. The author has also written that as he has always sold the crystals and he cannot do anything else, so he was settled in that only and he had little to do. So there we can see that author is also saying that the opportunity can't be created. But
Correct.
actually, when the boy came into the picture, he showed that how different opportunities can be created and how from the very product of crystal he can create a new business.
Yes, that was also very profound. Mansi ji, Sunita ji, Sujata ji, anybody else? Manish ji, good morning. Welcome to see you in our meeting. Do you want to
Hi,
share
Mani
something?
ji.
Hmm.
मनी जी मैं मिस्ड यू आप क्यों नहीं रहते आजकल और ये बुक तो बहुत अच्छा है आप बहुत अच्छा लगेगा आपको डू
Yes,
जॉइन इन
I'm going beyond books now.
He has become the writer, I
don't
suppose.
leave books behind then take them
I
with you
I feel that I've read all the books.
Hmm.
wow what are you doing
No, actually, I'm focusing on my work, on the real execution of using the learning from the books on my business, actually.
but this book is different Manish ji have you read it anytime Alchemist
No, I didn't read it, but I know the essence of that. Yeah,
no but reading is different so I would insist do join us for this book उसके बाद चाहिए तो आप वापस आपके आपके ऊपर है but just insisting it's a very
yeah,
beautiful book आप
yeah. I'll
अभी
do
अभी
that.
तक हम लोग ने जस्ट 2 ही दिन हुए हैं like just read 40 pages or something so you can definitely join in if you
Sure,
want
sure. Yeah, yeah, sure.
आप रिकॉर्डिंग भी देख सकते हो तो आपको पता चलेगा जो पढ़ा है अभी का
Yeah, ठीक है, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
anyone
Mansi
else
ji, Manish ji
yes
might be joining जब मौका मिला तब, like me.
Hmm. Hmm.
नहीं, वो
Mm.
तो इट्स ऑलवेज ओपन फॉर ऑल वो तो सब आप करो ही
Yes, anybody
no
else
he
want
was
to
very
share?
very regular earlier ना so we missed him so you आप तो आप जब होता है जब ज्वाइन करते हो लेकिन मनीष जी was very regular for all our readings and all our books
So for me, what stood out was one fact that we know that uh, doing, saying and doing are two different things, right? And that you have to give value. So what struck to me is rather when he entered the shop, rather than talking about uh, doing asking the merchant for food, he actually, and saying that I'm going to work for food, he actually started cleaning the glasses. So he the Santiago believed in giving value first, and then showing the his from his action, wanting returns for that. So that is something that, apart from all the things that I've been already mentioned, this is something that I took with me, is that returns, in order to expect returns, you actually have to start taking that action and doing something positive towards that.
Wow, that was very nice. Yes, even I relate to it very much. How, मतलब he was so, मतलब self-esteem was so high. He didn't want anything for a mercy. He want to work for it and earn for it. And he was very clear, and he was very clear that I want some work. And he think what he can work. Beside being only shepherd, done nothing before. He was open to the challenges, and very gracefully adopted whatever came. And always something what I found very profound was he was calculating how much money he wants and how can he earn his income. He was coming out with the unique ideas with this thought ki how can he increase or multiply income and how much time he will take to realize his dream. This calculation part was also very profound and interesting, I guess. Yeah. Anybody else?
No, actually, Pallavi, what is the insight? I didn't get that. Like, what is the idea from that insight? Like,
Uh, what Sunita just shared? Yeah, what
yeah.
I uh, uh, Sunita ji, if
So,
you
so I, the idea is that you have to take action, right, and give value before expecting returns. So this is what I thought of when Santiago said that he wanted food in return for work, but rather than just saying that, he took the action of starting cleaning the glass doors and windows of the shop and the counters, and showing that, you remember they said that two clients came in, and because they were able to view the crystal much better. So he, rather than talk about it, he showed through his action that what value he's willing to provide, and it is a value worth generating returns for the shop owner. So what lesson I learned from it was that you have to do the action first. The returns will come. Rather than stating it, start taking that step forward.
Yeah, and in the course of the journey, first of all, he met that dream interpreter and the old man, the Suleiman king. They he got the learnings from them also, that to take something from others, you have to give also. So he had, at the back of his mind, he had this learning now, that he will be getting something only if he is giving something. And these learnings are making him smarter. He is getting more and more ideas, like the serving tea in the crystal glasses. That was also very wonderful. Uh, that the business works, the business can be expanded if you understand the real need of the people, and you know the psychology of the persons, that what they like or not. Yeah.
Mm, I want to add something on the same line. See, as per what I read from Gita, Bhagavad Gita, it says that don't attach your effort with the outcome. Because sometimes what happens is that, when we attach the effort with the outcome, and like we don't get the outcome every time, right? Because outcome comes it's in its own time and place, right? So what I feel is whatever we do, we should do it very passionately with full interest, and we have to enjoy the journey of action. ठीक है ना? When we do it from the heart and with the full passion, result तो आ ही जाएगा. It is just a matter of time, right? So I take it on that way. Like I don't attach my effort with the outcome, because the thing is, See, all manifestation is based on action, right? So if I'm putting the right action, वो result तो आ ही जाएगा, right? But I have to attach the outcome with the action. कि भाई नहीं मुझे तो अभी चाहिए या it should happen as per my wish or something like that. So I work and Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Manishji. That was very profound. Uh, yes, anybody else wants to share something?
Pallavi,
Yes.
I hope everyone can understand Hindi here. Uh, well, while on my journey to become a coach, I learned from many mentors. तो वहां पर क्या हुआ कि एक मेंटर ने एक अपनी स्टोरी शेयर की थी कि एक बार जब वो अपने वर्कशॉप में कंप्लीट करने के बाद सेल्स पिच जब दिया उन्होंने, somebody from the audience got up and said कि आप भीख ही तो मांग रहे हो. सो देयर उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा आंसर दिया था कि येस, आई एम ऑन माई नीज, आई एम बेगिंग यू टू वर्क अपॉन योर सेल्फ सो दैट यू कैन हैव अ वंडरफुल लाइफ अहेड. तो इस तरह का भी व्यू लोगों का रहता है कि जो सेल्स कर रहे हैं या फिर जो कुछ कोचिंग करना चाह रहे हैं, कोई कुछ बता रहा है, सिखा रहा है, तो उनको ऐसा लगता है कि ये बेच रहे हैं सामान हमें या अपना जो प्रोग्राम है वो हमें, एंड दे आर प्लीडिंग फॉर दी सेल. तो अगर वो इस तरह से भी सोचते तब भी आपने अगर वैल्यू दिया है एज अ कोच, तो वहाँ पर आप वैल्यू देने के बाद में जब आप कुछ सेल्स के लिए बोलते हो कि हाँ ये मेरा प्रोग्राम है, यू बाय इट, देन द पर्सन इज एबल टू सी द वैल्यू बिफोर बाइंग इट. तो वहाँ पर भी ये वाला रूल अप्लाई होता है कि आपने पहले वैल्यू दिया है तो सामने वाला अपने आप समझता है कि हाँ भाई यहाँ पर कुछ है जो मेरे काम का है, और उसको वो अमाउंट देने में भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती है. तो वो बहुत एक अच्छा प्रोफाउंड लाइन था जो मुझे वहाँ से मेरे मेंटर से मिला कि अगर इफ समबडी इज पुटिंग यू डाउन बाय सेइंग कि तुम भी तो भीख ही मांग रहे हो हमारे आगे जब ये बेच रहे हो तो अपना प्रोग्राम, तब भी हम ये दिखा सकते हैं उनको कि यस, आई एम begging you to rise up so that you can live a good life, or I am giving you the value, see the value first and then buy it.
Wow, what a wonderful message. As a showstopper, I guess. Yeah. Sometimes people say, ki, yes, the questions are not wrong. It's the way we answer them. So, yeah, how we react to the things increases the value of, yeah, how smartly we tackle the situation.
एंड ना इसके बाद में मुझे कभी भी डर नहीं लगा कि कोई मुझे कुछ इस तरह से बोलेगा तो मैं क्या आंसर करूंगी, बिकॉज आई वॉज ऑलवेज हैविंग अ पॉजिटिव सेट ऑफ आंसर विद मी.
And you are the one who decides your value. It doesn't matter what the people think about you. First, you have to have confidence on yourself. Maybe, yeah. Mansi, anybody else wants to share?
But I want to say that see जैसे कोई भी दूसरा बंदा कुछ भी कर रहा है तो हमें उसको कभी भी नेगेटिव नहीं लेना है. ठीक है, ही इज डूइंग हिज ओन कर्मा, दैट इज हिज एवोल्यूशन ऑफ सोल या जो भी कह लो, तो उसको हमें पॉजिटिव ही लेना है कि ठीक है वो जो कर रहा है वो कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा ही कर रहा है, हमें उसमें नेगेटिव नहीं देखना. अगर वो नेगेटिव भी कर रहा है फिर भी हमें नहीं देखना, हमें उसको पॉजिटिव देखना है कि भाई मैं उससे क्या सीख सकता हूँ, राइट? एंड हाउ आई कैन डू समथिंग टू बेनिफिट ईच अदर. अपने को नेगेटिव नहीं देखना, ठीक है ना. जैसे मैं अपना एग्जांपल देता हूँ, आई यूज टू सी कि भाई रोड में साइड में ये रोड टूटा पड़ा है, ऐसा है वैसा है, तो मुझे थोड़ा बुरा लगता था. तो ना ये व्हाट आई डू डू इज, जब भी मैं वो देखता हूँ तो आई जस्ट फोकस ऑन द पॉजिटिव साइड ऑफ दैट कि अच्छा क्या है, राइट? ठीक है ना. तो व्हाट आई डू इज जो मेरे उसको देख के जो नेगेटिविटी आती थी वो खत्म हो गई, बिकॉज आई एम जस्ट फोकसिंग माई थॉट ऑन द पॉजिटिव साइड ऑफ व्हाट आई कैन सी, व्हाट आई कैन डू. ठीक है, तो मैं नेगेटिव के बारे में सोचता ही नहीं हूँ. तो पॉइंट ये है कि जो भी दूसरा पर्सन कर रहा है तो हमें उसको कहीं ना कहीं पॉजिटिव ही देखना है कि भाई व्हाट पॉजिटिव आई कैन सी इन दैट पर्सन. ठीक है, नेगेटिव तो नेगेटिव पे फोकस ही नहीं करना है, बिकॉज दैट्स हाउ लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन वर्क्स. आप पॉजिटिव सोचेंगे, पॉजिटिव देखेंगे तो पॉजिटिव ही अट्रैक्ट करेंगे. तो
Correct.
नेगेटिव पे ध्यान ही नहीं देना, जस्ट चेंज योर थॉट फ्रॉम. एंड इफ यू Happen to see anything negative, just change your thought to the positive, on the positive side of that situation. That's
Thank
what
you,
I. Yeah.
Nancy, for giving that beautiful insights. Now I think it's 8:10. Thank you everyone for joining and and sharing your views. We are all blessed to have today's insight and learning. Wishing all of you a blessed day. Meeting you all same time at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will go move or read ahead from page number 64. Today we read till page number 64. Thank you everyone. Have a blessed day.
Thank you all. You all have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Thank you. Bye
Great
bye.
day. Bye. Pallavi, I'll just assign